programme, concerns have been mounting about problem plastics. Now the UK's biggest waste management company is urging politicians across the board to think again about the issue after the upcoming general election put the brakes on the government's environment bill. Biffa empties more than 4 million bins a week and also runs waste management and recycling businesses. So they've got a vested interest in any proposals to tackle plastics. Well, earlier on, 5 Live Money's Danny Houston caught up with the boss, Michael Topham, who said he was disappointed the bill had been shelved, but also said it didn't go far enough.
Firstly, I should say we're encouraged by the overall level of ambition and certainly what was contained in the resources and waste strategy that the government published about a year ago. We were a bit disappointed, though, that the government seemed to have stepped back from announcing a ban on exporting of waste plastics. That was something that Boris Johnson himself trailed a few weeks earlier, but then when the bill came out, it wasn't in there, and that was disappointing. And the reason is, I think that is a fundamental policy that is needed so that we can restore confidence in the way we're managing our waste in this country. We have to have a system as a country that everyone can understand and can follow. That to me involves clearer labelling. But I think the way that the red, amber, green system works for nutritional information on food is a good system that's easy for people to follow. Why can't we have far clearer, more consistent labelling around what can and can't be recycled?
Now, this is big business. Waste management is big business. Why has it taken this long to get to a point where we're talking about recycling all plastics in the UK, where we're seeing companies like yours getting involved right at the beginning of developing milk bottles that can be completely recycled? Is it because only now that there is a value on it that people are willing to pay?
I'm not sure it's about the value. I think it's about consumers' attitude. So milk bottles is a great example. And actually, and this is not to criticise the supermarkets, but at that time they were saying, we don't think the consumers will want the idea or like the idea of there being recycled plastic in the milk bottle. They didn't even put it on the labelling to say it includes recycled content. That's unconscionable now. I am a bit nervous actually in the broader debate about plastics, that in our kind of well-intended desire to move away from plastics, that we actually get rid of the good as well as the bad.
Because a lot of people are switching to glass milk bottle instead.
And all the analysis suggests that whether it be glass bottles or the move to Tetra Pak type packaging, it's far worse from a carbon impact perspective.
Because although it clearly has environmental benefits, for a business like yourself that's in at the bottom and then at the top, this closed loop is just something which is going to add to your bottom line.
Yes, and our polymer business has gone from being a very small part of Biffa to now being quite a significant contributor and employer and investor. And I would love it to become even bigger, and that's certainly the vision for us.
Michael Topham, the boss of Biffa there. Well, now the business hit the headlines back in September after being fined over £500,000 by the Environment Agency for exporting contaminated household waste to China. Allegations Mr Topham denies and insists they will appeal.
This is a technical infringement, which I should say we're appealing. We have sent well over 1 million tonnes of waste paper to Asia, mainly China, over the last decade, all of which has been manufactured back into cardboard, vital raw material. It's met global industry standards of 98.5% purity of paper. That means that for every tonne, there is a little bit of contamination in there, which we do our best to remove. We're appealing that verdict. We're very disappointed.
And that is the boss of Biffa, Michael Topham.
Just a quick response.